With car theft worse now than ever before, it's no surprise that security cameras are catching more of this crime. Like in early January of 2019, a group of 4 youths arrived at an address in a British suburb with clear intentions. The 4 of them would exit their Peugeot, presumably also stolen, and break into a house. The 4 suspects had just committed a home invasion and were searching all corners of the house, although, little did they know, a neighboring couple would arrive back home just 1 minute later. The thieves eventually locate the keys to the Volkswagen and begin to leave. The Range Rover driver spots the 4 hooded young men and instantly realizes one of his neighbors is getting robbed. The concerned man re-enters his SUV and parks behind the Volkswagen in an attempt to stop them. Unfortunately, the thieves have nothing to lose and they smash through their neighbor's fence before making their getaway. It's unknown whether the car was recovered or if the suspects were ever caught, although it's clear this neighbor did his best to stop the thieves, despite his partner's better judgment. Just before 5:30 a.m. on the 16th of August 2023, 3 young men pulled up on a residential property in the District of York, Canada. The suspects had obviously decided they wanted to try their luck at stealing a late model BMW X6M. As one of the men remained in the getaway car, the other 2 run towards the house. The thieves would enter the family's home while they were asleep, locate the vehicle's key fob, but not before politely taking off their shoes, committing the crime of breaking and entering. Although the stolen BMW wasn't recovered, the York Regional Police had stated that 4 suspects were arrested following an auto theft investigation. The suspects also targeted vehicles that had their side mirrors extended, indicating that they were unlocking, giving them access to garage door openers which were used as another way to enter victims' homes. A good time as any to remind people to always lock your doors, regardless of how safe you feel. This security camera footage outside a house in Brampton, Canada goes to show just how fast things can happen when you're not paying attention. On the 10th of April 2022, a 38-year-old man named Gilbourne Cusi had placed his 10-month-old son in the backseat of his vehicle and returned inside to grab his toddler.
Come, come. Where you got me? Come. Come. Hey! What the f? Hey! Go out from there! Where are you f***ing in my car? Just go back! Hey! Hey, my shit is there! Good! What the f? You f***ing stupid! What the fuck do you?
The suspect trying to steal the vehicle then attempts to reverse out of the driveway, almost dragging the victim under the car, not understanding a 10-month-old was sitting in the back seat. Luckily, Gilbourne alerts him to this, and the suspect finally decides taking a vehicle with a baby inside of it is not what he planned on. Police say no physical injuries were sustained by anyone involved, and that the suspect was never found and is still at large. Around 8:30 a.m. on July 21, 2023, a woman was driving along Skyline Boulevard in the hills above Oakland. She was following a white Dodge Charger and thought nothing of it, until the car stopped. Dashcam video footage inside the victim's SUV shows the Charger pull out in front of her vehicle, leaving little room between the suspect's vehicle and a divider in the middle of the road. The driver would then run towards the victim, pointing a gun, yelling for her to get out, presumably attempting to steal her car. A second suspect wearing a black ski mask exits the vehicle and attempts to open the victim's passenger door. The woman's quick thinking got her out of a dangerous carjacking, although it wasn't over. The victim sped off but was chased down the hill for a couple of blocks until the suspects finally gave up and decided to drive away. The entire situation lasted just a minute or two, but as you can imagine, left the driver on edge for weeks. But just days after the altercation, local police tracked down the suspect's vehicle and made 2 arrests, but not before a pursuit. It was thought that the attempted carjacking was part of a large crime syndicate responsible for up to 300 stolen vehicles in the area. On the 16th of June 2022, a British man driving a new Volkswagen Golf R had arrived home. He had just pulled into his driveway where he was to gather his belongings before exiting. However, unbeknownst to the driver, another vehicle with passengers was reversing up to his address with bad intentions. The middle-aged driver had been followed back home by a group of 3 goons, 2 of who jumped the victims for his car keys, threatening to hurt him and even stab him if he didn't comply. The altercation lasted no longer than half a minute. Unfortunately, one of the suspects retrieves the keys from the owner, enters the car, and makes a poor attempt at driving away, damaging it in the process. Neighbors heard the commotion and came rushing, however, it was a little too late. A friend stated that the victim wasn't seriously hurt but did spend the night in the hospital. The car was later recovered and the thugs were caught. As unfortunate as it is, the video serves as a reminder to always be aware of your surroundings, not only while out driving, but also once you arrive back home. At approximately midday on the 23rd of May 2017, Melissa Smith would pump her gas at a local gas station in Milwaukee. Although on this particular day, a black sedan arrives on the other side of the forecourt, and its occupants can be seen waiting for the perfect time to take advantage of Melissa. An unsavory individual got out of the black vehicle and quickly let himself into her car. She decided to take matters into her own hands and jumped onto the hood of her own SUV. Melissa would then be challenged by the would-be thief as he brake-checked her a couple of times. Although standing her ground, she held on for dear life. She would then scream as loud as she could, forcing the carjacker to get out and abandon the SUV, but not before swiping her purse, phone, and wallet. Unfortunately, police said the black sedan was also stolen and that they were still looking for the suspects. At around 3:50 p.m. on September 17th, two masked carjackers entered a property just off Bayberry Lane in Westport, Connecticut. Suspects had followed the victim home in his Aston Martin. Having had just pulled into his own garage, he unknowingly awaited the scariest moment of his life. The suspects finally remove the man from his own car as his wife and small dog walk in. Unfortunately, at that stage, it was too little too late, and both thieves made off with the luxury sports car. The two suspects were later found, arrested, and held on $500,000 bonds. Police searched their property and managed to retrieve 4 stolen vehicles, including this Aston Martin. It's believed the masked men were part of a larger car theft chop shop organization, as local police anticipated making additional arrests. At roughly 10 p.m. on January the 5th, 2019, 4 armed individuals would reverse a stolen Volkswagen Golf into a West London residence with bad intentions. The men would exit the vehicle to then break and enter, but not before discussing their plans right in front of a Ring door camera. Initially, it was believed that the group were planning on stealing the Mercedes G-Wagon parked in the driveway. However, one of the men was carrying a machete, which might have indicated they were planning a home invasion.
I'm gonna open the front door.
One of the men enters the house and begins conversing with the other 3 outside. Fortunately, the Ring camera triggered the motion detection system, and the occupants of the house immediately called the police. They would then make their presence known, resulting in the group making a run for it. It's unknown whether the men were caught, although had the security cameras not been installed, it's difficult to know what might have happened to the couple inside. If these disturbing car robbery videos don't justify the purchase of a security system, I'm not sure what will.